I'm James Kirk.
I'm Michi Hoyer.
And you're watching simnews.tv.
Hi guys, Scrutineer here for simnews.tv and you're watching WCSLeague $1,000 knockout. So what's it all about? Well, there's $1,000 and there's 30 drivers of some of the best Rfactor 2 drivers on this planet, all battling out for $1,000. We've got 6 rounds, 3 races each round, 10 laps each time, really exciting racing. But that is not the end of it. We are calling a knockout here, so that literally means you're driving around and you're knocked out if you're not fast enough. So from laps 3 through to 8, if you are in the slowest view on that particular lap, you will be eliminated. Doesn't matter what position you're in, you are gone. We battle it out with the final 4 for the first 2 laps, and they battle out for the win. First 2 laps, no one's eliminated. It's just a normal start race, get some positions, get some battling going, and then settle in for some knockouts from lap 3 onwards. Race 3 as well, we have a reverse grid. The top 10 are reversed, so that could be really, really exciting in race 3. Some people battling through. Do you risk it, do you not? One error here, guys, and you will be out, because you will be in the slowest few times and you won't make that final 4 and that chance to win the race and the money. Make sure you're watching. Really exciting concept. I hope you agree. Enjoy the broadcast.
Hello and welcome to round 2 of the WCS $1,000 knockout. I'm Mike Bell. With me today once again is Tom Parker, who's currently having a few technical issues, so I'm sure we'll be getting him as soon as possible. Round 2 today coming from Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and we're just into the qualifying session right now. Few drivers out on track. I think if we can jump on board with Yerny Simoncic, he's just coming to start his flying lap, the current championship leader. Heavy on the brakes down into Tarzan. It's his turn 1, out, mind the curb on the X, through the fast couple of wiggles and into Gerlach. And then Hugenholtz, the hairpin, and all the way up the long straight, going over the rolling hills. Got to be very, very careful here. Running as close to the lines as you can, but dip a wheel over and it can all go south very quickly. Up into Schieflack, which is a very long right-hander, but very fast nonetheless. And then down into Masters, which feels like it tightens up on exit. And then through turn 9 and turn 10, which are some of the slowest points on the circuit. Simoncic hugging tight into the apex and then back onto the back straight. Down towards the chicane. Late on the brakes, get a big bite of curb on the way in, then try and hold it tight through the left hand, and then out into the final sector, around Kumo, and then the final corner, which is flat out in these cars but has a very nasty curb on exit. Simoncic gets it just about perfect, and across the line he goes in 1:13.3 to take provisional pole ahead of Michi Hoyer, Peo Peeve. Oh, Kirill Birakov up to second, the guy who won the first race out last time. Mitchie Hoyer third, ahead of Peo Peeve. Kostas Galanamatis, he's going to be fifth, ahead of Chris Shepard. And something's obviously happened to Yuri Kazdorp on his lap with a 125, so maybe a spin or an off, so he's going to be starting at the back. Adam Pinches finishes his lap, moves up into 6th on a 14.7. And the track then goes a bit quiet with only Vlad Tokarev on his way out on an outlap. So I guess time to go over a few things while we have some time. After the first round of the championship, we have currently Yerny Simoncic leading the way, ahead of Dennis Jordan, who both managed to make it to the final round of the knockout in all 3 races of Silverstone. Just behind them is Kirill Birakov, who won race 1 and then went out in the final round of eliminations in race 2 and 3. I think at least one of those he was leading on track when he went out, proving that every lap you need to be on it. Further down behind them you have Maciek Mlinek, who went out real early in the first race but scored big in races 2 and 3. And behind him is Matthew Williams and Yuri Kazdorp, who both made it to the second last round of eliminations every single time at Silverstone. But the event win went to Yerny Simoncic and the first $100 of the event. And so here comes Tokarev now out of the final turn on the way down to Tarzan to start his flying lap. Brakes late, ooh, with a big twitch in the middle of the corner there. Couldn't hold it quite as narrow as I think he'd hoped to. And through Gerlach box. Oh, big slide from Tokarev. Goes now around the hairpin of Hugenholtz and up the hill. Looking a little bit ragged is Tokarev, but of course qualifying in this format of event is not the single most important thing. It's all about your race lap times until we come down to the final 4. Tokarev through Masters, which is one of the more difficult corners on this track to get right. Around turn 9 and turn 10. And actually a decent exit from Tokarev. Going down the straight and through sector 2. He's a few tenths down currently on almost everybody else. So through the second to last corner. And around the long final sweeper, which I think was where Yuri Kazdorp may have made a mistake, judging by the sector times. As Tokarev crosses the line, he goes up into P6 at the moment. And we are delighted to welcome at this time Tom Parker, who seems to have fixed his technical problem.
Yeah, hello, yeah, just entering now. All good, happy days. Can't wait to watch another exciting evening of racing, especially after, like you said, someone like Matt Williams. I think, yeah, he got to the final round of eliminations each time and then didn't quite make it. Obviously, Birakov, who was leading, yeah, you're right, him and Matt Williams in race 2, they were leading on the road, 1-2, and then obviously he was knocked out. So, like you said, every lap counts. Obviously, Kazdorp obviously making his mistake, obviously not the end of the world. Might be a tactic, you never know, he might be slowed down. So, we'll see, but yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, we want to be at the front, so we'll see how it goes in the last couple of minutes.
So indeed we will, as we're halfway through this qualifying session. Still 7 more drivers yet to set a time, but one of those is Adrian Kott, who's coming around the final turn now. Kott actually is looking quite competitive for a top 4 start. Pavlov jumps up into 10th and Adrian Kott up into 5th place. So Adrian Kott right in the mix there between Peo Peeve and Kostas Galanamatis. Pavlov again, like you were alluded to, possibly with a deliberate poor qualifying lap, as he goes in behind Kazdorp. One thing that we do have to be concerned about is here in the Netherlands today, like we did last time in Britain, is the weather. There has already been some spots of rain during the practice session, so all these drivers need to be prepared for any weather, which I'm surprised that some people are leaving it this long to get out on track, to potentially mean that they're going to have to do a lap in the wet, Tom.
Yeah, especially someone like Dennis, who obviously is very high up in the championship, but obviously second in place at the moment, and Linek, who's also up there. It's a bit of a risk. I suppose, obviously, like I said, it's not the end of the world coming last, but it's not what you want to do as a racing driver, is it really? So we'll see. But obviously, you've got Luke Maguire out there now as a pilot on his lap, coming around the final corner. See what he sets. Obviously, looked pretty good in the later rounds of the in the later rounds of the last event. 7th place for him, so currently in the midfield. So Maguire, who wasn't here last time out, he was away. So we'll see what he can do in his first round. Obviously, he's got a round deficit to everyone else, but there's no redo. Very, very, very quick driver in 1 lap. Can he hold it over a race distance? We'll have to see, but he's just starting his lap now. But yeah, it's a bit of a risk, but we'll see. Obviously, we've still got 5 minutes to go, and only 4 drivers after Luke.
I'd say Luke Maguire just starting a lap. He was, as you said, absent from round 1, but upon hearing this format and watching the times come down in the pre-qualifying, when I saw Luke Maguire up in there, I thought, oh, okay, this is a guy that could really thrive in this format, because I've seen him race elsewhere, and he's always seems like he's one of the fastest 2 or 3, but he makes these little mistakes, and sometimes tyre wear and things like that catch up with him. But in this sort of series, as you can see, just throwing out a load of smoke from that front left tyre. Tyre wear and things like that, they're not going to really be a huge factor, although they may play an effect here today, as I was speaking to Jurgen Kasdorp earlier, who was having a few tyre wear troubles on the super soft and was even debating what the hards would do. But Maguire is someone who I was really interested to see in this format, so looking forward to seeing how he goes today as he finishes up the 2nd sector. And sure enough, purple sector 1, green sector 2, so he's about even with Simoncic as it stands. Oh, what a big twitch as he comes around the long final turn. And Maguire to the line. I'm not sure if he's going to beat Simoncic, but this will almost certainly put him on the front row. And sure enough, 2nd place for Luke Maguire. That's somewhere that he can really launch an offensive to win the first race here.
Yeah, and like we said, in another series I've seen him in, he's blindingly fast over 1 lap. It's just obviously tyre wear and obviously tiny little errors making hinder him. So hopefully with 2nd place he'll be able to get a very good start and at least hang with Simoncic. Obviously Luke Maguire's someone who's quick over 1 lap, like we've alluded to a couple of times now, I think, if anyone's noticed. But like I said, this sort of format, someone who would suit him, who can just, after lap 3, obviously, he would start getting the eliminations. He'll be someone who can keep it up for 1 lap and just try and keep it at consistent times and not end up out of this thing. And he's someone who you could probably say is a dark horse today, really.
Indeed, I mean, he's you know, already 50-odd points behind the championship lead, so he's not going to particularly be focused on that. He's just going to be focusing on getting out there and trying to bank himself this event win and the $100 that goes along with it. Of course, as you may have noticed, we do have a slightly depleted grid for this round, which will mean that there's a slight change to the elimination format. So that means that I believe by my maths working out, I'll start showing eliminations in lap 5, I believe, either 5 or 6. So a little bit longer than usual for drivers to sort of get a piece of real estate out there on the tarmac and see what they can do with that. As Eros Masculi, he's going to be the next driver to head out with 3 minutes to go in qualifying. So Jordan, Leineck and Siebel still in the pits, going to have to be making a move fairly soon.
Yeah, but obviously about 90 seconds to get round, so they've got about a minute and a bit just to get out and make sure that we get a lap time set. Obviously you've got people in the midfield like Zapala and Galaminatis are going to be sweating a little bit. Obviously you don't want to be in that midfield when it comes to lap 5, lap 6 when the eliminations do start. So that's when it can start to get hairy as Dennis Jordan actually finally exits the pits. So we'll see Dennis setting a lap time, obviously second in the championship at the moment. So he's going to be someone who's looking to go up and as high as he can. Obviously he'll be looking for event wins in the coming rounds. So we'll see what he can do. But Masculi going around sector 2 now as Leineck also comes out of the pits. We're just waiting on Alex to make... Oh, and there he goes. Funnily enough, speaking of him. So everyone's going to be setting a time today, which is nice to see. And I'll have to see in these last 4 drivers who can get up highest or even maybe challenge Simoncic.
Well, we won't have long to wait and see, as Eros Masculi is the first one of these drivers on track, and he's already in the 3rd sector. So he's going to look for a good run through Kumo, and then Irie Lyondike, I believe is the pronunciation. I have been trying, but being from the West Country, foreign languages are hard. And across the line on the way down to Tarzan, here's Eros Masculi, late on the brakes. Seems because of the profile of Tarzan, sometimes holding right to the inside of the apex is not particularly fast. They're just using the banking to carry speed. And Masculi with a Scandinavian flick-esque maneuver into Hugenholtz. Not sure if that was on purpose or if that was just a reacting save, but either way it looked impressive. as Masculi up the long straight and into Schlevak. Again, lots of smoke coming off that front left tyre, through the left-hand kink and then into Masters, lining the curbs into turn 9, which is one that is very easy to go too deep in, but Masculi holds it nicely, and then around turn 10, and down the long back straight and over the other hill. Very elevation changey this circuit, and on the brakes into Hans Ernst, through the right, through the left, hold it tight, use the camber, get on the throttle on the way out, and on the run down to Kumo, the off throttle down a gear, let it roll, and then full throttle on the way out, avoids the exit curb. Eros Masculi is going to go across the line, and he's going to go third. So good lap from Masculi. And next on the road is Dennis Jordan, but I've noticed that Mlynek has made a mistake, and he's actually allowed Alex Siebel to go ahead of him. So Mlynek probably going to be starting down towards the rear, as Dennis Jordan now into the chicane.
He was going very slowly through sector 2, so Dennis is obviously playing the long game, and I think he'll be sitting him towards the back. So I think he's got his game plan. Obviously, it worked in round 1. So we'll see if it can work in round 2. Look, there he is. He's just going straight back into the pits, I believe.
Yep. Timer's just hit 0, so as we know, these guys are going to go across the line. But yeah, Dennis Jordan, I think he's someone who races quite smart. So he's probably just playing to get to the final 4 each round, and then keep scoring the consistent big points rather than, you know, going for the race wins and getting caught in a fight. So whatever works for you in this series is Alex Siebel has also abandoned his lap, and we're just left with Maciek Mlynek, and he's going to be coming around the final turn, and I assume he's also going to join the Jordan and Siebel in the pit lane. No, he's going to go across the line, and a 130.2, so Mlynek's going to join the crew at the back of the grid. So I expect those guys to just spread out, find their own piece of tarmac, and then just keep on banging in the laps.
Yep, and like I said, obviously Dennis it worked quite well for him last time out, didn't it? He obviously second in championship. So yeah, Dennis is one of those drivers who's very obviously I've worked with him quite closely in another league, and yeah, he's a very clever person, very clever racer. He would always be the sort of person who would be banging in the laps at the end of a race rather than at the start. Not the strongest qualifier in the world, but yeah, his race pace is really where it's to be seen. So obviously he's the sort of person who this format would fit. And yeah, we'll see him up there. I'm sure we'll see him towards in the last couple of rounds of eliminations. So we'll see how he goes. But someone like Alex Siebel, I'm surprised. He's usually quite quick over 1 lap. So I'm surprised to see him down there. But obviously Simoncic, Mr. Pole man for this one. And Maguire in second, looking to be the young pretender. So Simoncic looking very good to keep hold of his championship lead as such far.
Indeed, and you look behind him, you see you got some guys like you got Maguire, you got Birakov. You know they're going to be coming out of the gate hot, and they're not going to be playing for the final round of eliminations. They're going to be playing to win. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fare around Simoncic, who's got obviously the championship in the back of his mind. There is in fact 1 drop score round, so technically everybody's still in it to win it, as I made a mistake there. So even guys like Luke Maguire still on even footing, because at the end of the season everybody's worst rank gets dropped. So we'll have to see. I know a lot of people here are going to be supporting Michi Hoyer, because he's got a big following, does Michi. Currently he qualified in 5th place, but I don't know, Tom. He's right in the pack with, you know, just behind guys like Maguire, Birakov, ahead of guys like Peeve, Cott, Galanamatis, guys who aren't just going to sit there and wait. They're going to go for it. So on a narrow track like this, I mean, we said about it at Silverstone that being in the midfield is not going to be great. Right in here, there's even less room. So being in the midfield, not going to be where you want to be, Tom.
No, and obviously it's quite easy to get caught up in a fight, isn't it? Obviously, as racing drivers, we all want to try and beat the person ahead of us and overtake them. Obviously, in this sort of format, it doesn't really tend to enjoy that sort of racing, which is a shame. But I mean, it's new, it's exciting. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Mitchell, I think Mitchell's definitely improved from last showing, isn't he? I think he qualified about 16th, 17th last time round. So Mitchell's done a much better job this time in the qualifying phase. Hopefully he'll be able to pull it off in the race as Pavlov goes a bit wide, but manages to get it all saved together. Masculi must go for moving to the qualifying, because that was a great flick. It was fun to watch. And he still managed to qualify third of that. So imagine if he hadn't been flicking it around there. So good stuff from him. Obviously, he struggled a bit last time out as well, but he did get through to the final in last round of races. So good stuff from him. And Birkos, I think, is going to be someone to watch out for today as well. He's someone who's got something to prove, I think, this time out. Having obviously made a couple of mistakes last time and getting eliminated early, so he'll be out for revenge, especially as Matt Williams isn't here today. So someone to maybe he might do, having him and Matt seem to be on the same par of tarmac every single time, won't they? Bless them. So it'll be interesting to see how Birkov does today. Try and get some redemption, as it were, from round one.
Indeed, I mean, he was like lightning, but sometimes lightning and water don't go so well together, and there are mumblings that we should be expecting rain in the middle of the first race here, Tom. Now, with the forecast, rain is expected by most of these drivers in the middle of the first race. Because of the grid compilation, there isn't going to be any eliminations until lap 6. And even then, lap 6, the slowest driver is going to be going out. Sorry, lap 5, the slowest driver is going out. And with the fact that the pit lane remains closed, would you, Tom, consider potentially starting on intermediates and then just making them last long enough so that if it does rain, you're in the money seat?
That's risky. I personally wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm a man who loves my alternate strategies, but I wouldn't personally do it. I would probably wait till race 2 and see if it comes then. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we saw Kazdorp do it last time, didn't we? I mean, I can't believe how far he got on the slicks in the wet. So if anyone does do it, it'll be Yuri who goes on the slicks. But yeah, I personally wouldn't risk it. But it'd be interesting to see. That would be a great. I mean, if it worked, I mean, fair play to them. I mean, at worst, what are they going to do? Finish 4th? I mean, that's still a good haul of points, isn't it? Really. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, everyone in practice seems to be going on to the supers, so I don't think anyone will be thinking about it. But it's definitely something food for thought, especially for someone like Dennis, someone like Alex who's at the back, who could potentially play it out like that. But most drivers, I think, will be expecting to see them on the dries for this race.
If I was Dennis, I wouldn't be. I'd just be going with the group, just doing. I wouldn't be risking anything. But for someone who's got a bit less to lose, like as you say, like an Alex Siebel, someone starting down the back anyway, it's like, you got to wonder. Well, if forecasts are changing and people are saying we should expect the rain for the second of the races, but it's the weather, no one can really predict it.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, look at Britain. It rained on, off, and it was mental.
Indeed, as I was speaking to Yuri Kazdorp earlier, and I was asking him about that slick decision, and he thought, it stopped raining in the warm up before that race, and then the rain came back for the race, so he was expecting it to dry up a bit. And to be fair, the track was drying; it just didn't quite dry in time for Yuri, but he made it work because he just drove to the car in those conditions where he wasn't pushing it like crazy, and you had guys on the inters who were, they were going for it still, and they were making mistakes, and that just helped him knock out rung after rung after rung. And then he got through all the way to the final 8 on the slick tires, which was very impressive.
Yeah, and I think it just shows that what sort of a driver Kazdorp actually is that he's very, 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 very consistent. And consistency does pay off here. Obviously, if I'd rather be consistently good over 6 laps than massively fast on 5, have an off lap, and bang, you're out. As obviously Birkov and Williams found out last time. So consistency is the key here. Obviously, having a bit of pace does help. But being consistent over these 10 laps is the main name of the game. So just about to advance through, and we'll see how exciting this one's going to be. Obviously, lap 5 is the first lap that we're going to be seeing someone go on, as Mr. De Vries, our race director, is moving it on. So exciting times. And have you got a prediction for a winner, or are you going to wimp out like I did last time?
I'm going to go with more of a heart over head pick. I'm going to go with Luke Maguire for this one. I think I've seen him, and I've raced against him, or on the same grid. He's usually more up the front and I'm more down the back, but we've come into contact as he's recovering from different things. So it's someone that I'm thinking, okay, this guy, he could do well in this format. We'll see how he goes. So I'm going to go Luke Maguire for the race 1 win. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I would say Maguire, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Obviously, with Luke, bless him, as we've said before, he's very quick, but obviously he does have this bout of inconsistency about him. So if he can keep it consistent, I can see Luke winning this, but obviously it depends on how he starts this race. Obviously, Simoncic in front of him on the grid. And like you said, it's a very skinny track, isn't it? Obviously, this could be our little preview of F1 next year, can't it? We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to overtake. So it's very going to be about being very clever this one. Obviously, Silverstone, there's quite a few places to overtake. Here, you're going to have to be very, very clever about what you do.
Yeah, very much momentum track, and you're used to being touring cars going around here, and in touring cars you don't necessarily need to be afraid to kind of lean on each other, but you do that in open wheelers. Someone's going flying as the final cars are taking their place on the grid, and the lights are coming on. So we'll go to the front. It's Jernej Simoncic. The lights are on, and away they go. And Simoncic gets off the line well. Maguire gets bogged down a fraction, so here comes Masciuli going up on his left-hand side. You can see already people are starting to trail out. Siebel, Jordan, Linek, Pavlov, Zapala, all taking it very easy off the start. Whereas at the front, Simoncic, Maguire, Masciuli, Birikov, Hoyer, Cotton. I think that's side-by-side. That's Gallimatis and Shepard. So, and
Birikov!
That was Birikov. Birikov involved. Hoyer involved. Pinches. People just pushing hard. And then somebody lost it in the straight. Oh, and Pavlov into Zapala. So the guys who started at the back, they're just cruising through now as Dennis Jordan has to take to the grass to avoid. So that's a few people already with heavy damage, including Michi Hoyer with no front wing. So that's not what you want to see, especially in a format like this, because that's basically giving everybody else a free pass to round 6 with Hoyer having no front wing.
Yeah, and it just looks like Birikov, he locked his brakes going into the left-hand hairpin. He saved it, and Hoyer, unfortunately, absolutely nowhere to go. It was really, really unlucky. So Michi, absolutely the innocent party in that one. Birikov is just, I think, he's just caught out. And yeah, like you said, that's Michi not looking good. If he can keep it going, fair play to him. But that's going to be a tough ask from here.
Indeed it is, as you were explaining that, Tom. They went into battle. Luke Maguire and Jernej Simoncic actually banged wheels going through the chicane, but Maguire takes the on-track position from Simoncic and Masciuli and Adrian Cott, who's actually had he's gotten off the line well.
Oh, Shepard!
Ooh.
Yep, sorry, I'm trying to cut over you. But yeah, Shepard went for a dive on Birikov, and Shepard just got a little bit wrong and went over the grass, tapped Birikov, but thankfully they've both survived to live another day. But yes, a bit twitchy there from Chris, but he managed to hold it together and just about avoid a big accident.
And so you've got your top 4 on the track already breaking away due to everything. Now, if somebody like Adrian Cott, who qualified really well at Silverstone, but genuinely seemed to struggle getting through the opening couple of laps in one piece. He's halfway around the second lap right now. He's in one piece. He's got Eros Masciuli in front and a big gap behind. So he's actually in quite a nice little piece of tarmac in order to get him very far. So interesting to see how he can go. But behind, you've got another guy who seems to struggle last time out, Peo Pive. He's got a lot of space around him. And then Birikov, who's already been in the wars, but still looking, at least visually, all in one piece. So we'll have to see how the underneath of that car is when it comes time for the drivers to start pushing for lap time.
Yeah, I'd be surprised Birikov's completely clean. Obviously, like you said, there's something in the suspension might be slightly bent that we can't see. But yeah, it's still very lucky to be in 6th place. So I don't know how he's managed to keep it out there. So fair play to him. But yeah, once we get to lap 5, obviously Michi's not looking good to be staying on past, unfortunately, with that front wing. But at least he hasn't gone to the pits. He knows he's remembered. He can't go into the pits to change it. So good stuff for him to remember. So we've still got a couple of laps left. So maybe never know, Michi might manage to get the hang of it. So we'll see. Obviously, all it takes is one mistake from someone and they could be out before him. So no matter, even though a lot of drivers will know, yeah, Michi's had a problem, but it doesn't mean that they can rest on their laurels. We've got to make sure they're pushing every single lap. In fact, it wasn't actually the slowest driver out of the last time round. He was actually Zapala was actually slower. Obviously, it doesn't really matter at the moment, so not too bad. But yes, obviously, he doesn't want to be doing that. As I believe Mike has disappeared for a little bit, so hopefully he'll come back because I'm a bit scared on my own, bless me. But yes, we've got Luke Maguire out front, nice 1-second lead over Simoncic. Cott has managed to get past Masciuli into 3rd place. Masciuli's taken, I think he decided to play air on the side of caution, got some space around him so that when he does come to the knockout laps, he does end up not getting caught up in that battle. And Cott's actually really going for it. I think he's aiming to be try and get as far as we can actually try and take this race win, which would be really good for him. Obviously, a couple of struggles last time out in the races itself, but good stuff from Adrian as we've got some drivers. Lots of space, no real on-track battles. Chris Shepherd and Birkov still quite close together. KOP's not too far ahead of Birkov either. So still a couple of laps for everyone to try and get their heads around the car, try and make sure we keep it nice and clear. And I believe this is Mike Bell on his return from his adventures. So welcome back.
Indeed it is. I don't know what happened there, but glad all the connections have been restored in time for the real action to kick off.
Yeah, so obviously whilst you went, Ocott has now gone into third place and he's actually managed to catch up to Simchic. So I was just saying, Adrian actually, after last time out struggling in the races, do you think he could be actually going for a race win here today rather than just a round win? I mean, looking pretty racy today.
Indeed he is. Without being rude, Simchic seems to be of the guys who are breaking away at the moment in the top three. You'd instantly see these guys and you think, right, Simchic is going to be, you know, the guy to beat out of these three. But Cott might actually be lining up for something a bit cheeky. If he can pass Simchic on the first elimination lap, you know, that's going to really screw Simchic and it's going to give Cott a great chance of winning it. But for now, I think he's just going to sit behind Simchic, and you can see Masculi behind is backed off into some space. As everyone almost everybody seems to be in some nice space at the moment, as you've got Mlinek coming up behind Hoyer, Kazdorp with Pinches and Pavlov right behind him. So we've got a few guys close on track still, but largely everyone's just spreading out, waiting for the lap times to start being the factor. But obviously the more they spread out, the more this favours Luke Maguire, because at the moment 2.5 seconds clear. And if Maguire does get down to the final four, it's a sprint to the line in which he's already going to have a near 3-second head start on almost anybody.
He is, and he is looking very, very strong, so fingers crossed for him. Obviously, it'd be great to see him take his first race in his first race. Obviously, up the season, so that'd be great. Fastest lap of the race so far is 17.0 from Adrian Cott, actually, so he has got a place under the car. Obviously, we were talking about tyre wear. We don't want his tyres to wear out too quickly, or he could be in trouble come round lap 6, 7, 8 when they do start getting to the elimination laps. Obviously, lap 5, we're on the first lap of elimination. Obviously, Michi Hoyer not looking too handy with that front wing. I mean, you say that, he's not that slow compared to everyone else around him, but now you see the likes of Jordan, Siebel, Zapata, who are at the back. They've all set purple first sectors, so...
Ooh, Jordan's stuck behind Michi.
Ooh, I could come into play if it all gets a bit wrong. Obviously, if he makes a mistake, he doesn't want to end up going off, so, but yeah. Oh, he's still behind him, so you never know. He had a very good sector 1, did 5 seconds faster than Michi, so I think he might get away with it. But yeah, most people over the line looking pretty good. Alex Siebel setting purple sectors left, right and centre. The front runners have also, looks like Adrian Cott's backed off a bit, because he's now gone down to a 19.7 rather than an 18, so he seems to have got himself a bit of space. And over the line come these last couple of stragglers. Sorry, a bit of a cough. Michi does a 1:24.9. Which I do believe will be him out, unfortunately, but this will be the next lap, which is where we'll see the real people go.
Well, Zapala's still easing off, and that was a 21 from Zapala, so Zapala needs to get shifting here. And there we go, we have in fact lost Michi Hoyer as our first elimination, so from now on, it's going to be the slowest 4 drivers being eliminated. As we're going to have the next lap starting off as Luke Maguire, 14.6, new fastest lap of the race. Good lap from Maguire. Simchic and Cott, 15.1. 15.1 from Masculi, 14.9 from Peeve. 15.7 from Birakov, he's currently in the drop zone ahead of Shepherd. 14.9 from Tokarev, 14.4 from Kazdorp.
Pavlov's had a shoddy lap.
And
the first pinches. And Galimanatis. God blimey.
Oh, Galimanatis must have gone off in the final sector. He was up with Shepherd on track, so that's Galimanatis almost certainly gone. So all he needs to hope now that Mlinek, Jordan, Siebel and Zapala all come a cropper, and I don't think they are. Especially since Zapala's setting purple sectors. Mlinek crosses the line 1:18.6. That's not good for him. Oh, 15.5, sorry, my mistake.
Tell you what though, Berikov's still in the drop zone.
Yes, he is. It's all down now to Germano Zapala, who set purple sectors on this time, so I don't like Birikov's chances. And across line 14.1, so yeah, it does seem Kirill Birikov out already, along with Vladislav Pavlov, Adam Pinches and Kostas Galimanatis. Though very lucky there, Chris Shepherd surviving by under a tenth, as we're going to start losing people. As around to start the next lap, Maguire kicks us off 14.7 ahead of Simoncic's 15.2. Luke Maguire, he's putting the legs to work. He's pulling that gap a little bit. Masculi P 14.6 is Birkov with a 14.3, but I think we're going to lose him from the last round anyway. Chris Shepard 15.6, that's not good. Nor is Tokarev's 15.0. So Simoncic currently in the drop zone. Tom, that's pretty big.
It is. I mean, Kot is actually slower than Tokarev, so it's by virtue of half a tenth. So not looking too good for him as we got Zapala. Oh, we've still got a few people to go around, so this is bottom 4 at the moment. Simoncic, which could be a huge shock if the driver's behind him. But I mean, Zapala's the last one to go over the line. I'm not liking Simoncic's chances here.
So what's that? Shepard out, Simoncic out, Tokarev out, and
Kot?
slowest 14.6.
Maybe Kot?
Adrian Kot, yes, indeed, the second and third on the road again out in the same lap. So that if Luke Maguire can keep this up, he's now got 7 seconds on Eros Masculi as Maguire's going to kick off.
14.7, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
This could be it. We've lost Kot from the previous lap, so this is the final round of eliminations.
Oh, I say that. Masculi and Peeve both quicker.
Tokarev, I think, is slower, as is Kazdorp. So it's going to come down to Mlynek, Jordan Siebel, and Germano Zapala to see who's where. We still have one person still going from the previous round. But Maguire in trouble as yet. Mlynek is out. So there we go. As we can see, Dennis Jordan is going to come around. Kazdorp's behind Tokarev on track. So if either of them I think they're both on their way out potentially. As across the line goes Jordan.
14.5.
Siebel.
14.5, yep. It looks like Maguire is going to be, unless Zapala has a nightmare.
No, Maguire's already mathematically out. Zapala across the line. So we're going to lose Tokarev, Kazdorp, Maguire, and Zapala. So Masculi now is going to be the guy in the hot seat. And he's got Peeve right with him, and Peeve has been quicker on the final few laps. So we are actually going to have a good sprint finish here between Masculi and Peeve. And also between Jordan and Alex Siebel further back down the road. They're fairly close. They're just a long way behind Masculi and Peeve. So here we go as they're going to start the final lap. Eros Masculi with half a second on Peo Peeve as they're still coming through the narrow first sector. I think Peeve's best chance will be to get close into the chicane as they're going to come up the long straight. Peeve's going to be closing in with the slipstream. There we go, Peeve, who I think I'm right in saying went through all of round 1 without scoring a point, has made it into the final cut already. And he's looking like he's going to pressure Masculi into the win. Here we go, through turn 9. And now through turn 10, Peeve takes a much narrower line on the way in. Masculi's looking for exit speed and nothing else. Here they come on the way down to the chicane. Masculi's pulled away a little bit. Still that half-second gap. Peeve closes up under braking. Kumo's a decent opportunity for a pass as well, but I think Peeve is a little bit too far behind. Through Kumo, Masculi still leads. Peeve giving it everything, but around the final corner, the winner of race 1 today, Eros Masculi, I believe is going to cross the line to take the win ahead of Peo Peeve. I think Maguire and Kazdorp both out and just left over from the previous rounds. And then we're going to have Dennis Jordan, Tom, making it to the end once again.
Yeah, I was just going to say, whilst you were obviously doing commentary for the last little bit, Dennis is probably the happiest man on this grid at the moment. He's championship rival down in 11th. Obviously, I'm not sure I'll have to double check that, but obviously in 11th on the race pace there. So Dennis finishing 3rd. He's going to be leading this championship if he keeps it up like this. So good stuff from Dennis. Obviously, the grid order for the next race will be based on this race. So looking good for Mr. Jordan.
Indeed. So Dennis Jordan going to be starting on row 2. Alex Siebel finishes to be 4th position. So another good score from Alex Siebel as they're just sorting out the final round of eliminations. So Eros Masculi, we have confirmed winning from 6/10 from Peo Peeve, and Dennis Jordan, Mr. Consistency, into the final 4 again with another third place. So that's going to put him in the championship lead, I believe. But Journey Simoncic only managing to, I think he's 11th on in that, so he's going to slip a little ways.
Yeah,
but the
it's
big
in
story,
the third round of eliminations. Yeah, third round of eliminations, he was out.
that third round as well, it took out Simoncic and Birikov, so that's the championship leader and the man who was third in the championship, both gone on the third round of eliminations, joining them with Chris Shepard and Maciek Mlinek, who Mlinek himself was in about 5th. So plenty of big scalps being claimed then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I was checking the times, and Maguire was out by 300ths of a second. So once again, literally one apex, which is slightly off, missed by about half a meter, and that's him gone. I mean, it's just obviously he was looking really good, wasn't he? 7 seconds up the road, so a big shame for Luke. But obviously, he's got the pace. He just needs to get a little bit more on one lap. Literally, one lap is all it needed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's cost him.
It has potentially, Tom, pushing a little bit too hard out of the gate just for that track position might have caused just a fraction more tire wear than the other guys, and as a result, less tire, less grip, and we have the standings being updated in live time on our spreadsheet, and so I will be able to see that momentarily. But whilst the standings are updated, I think we're going to be okay to throw it to a quick commercial break, and we will be back with race 2 momentarily.
Hi guys, Scrutineer here for SimNews.tv, and you're watching WCSLeague $1,000 Knockout. So what's it all about? Well, there's $1,000 and there's 30 drivers of some of the best Rfactor 2 drivers on this planet, all battling out for $1,000. We've got 6 rounds, 3 races each round, 10 laps each time. Really exciting racing, but that is not the end of it. We are calling a knockout here, so that literally means you are driving around, you are knocked out if you're not fast enough. So from laps 3 through to 8, if you are in the slowest view on that particular lap, you will be eliminated. Doesn't matter what position you're in, you are gone. We battle it out with the final 4 for the last 2 laps, and they battle out for the win. First 2 laps, no one's eliminated. It's just a normal start race, get some positions, get some battling going, and then settle in for some knockouts from lap 3 onwards. Race 3 as well, we have a reverse grid. The top 10 are reversed, so that could be really, really exciting in race 3. Some people battling through, do you risk it, do you not? One error here, guys, and you will be out, because you will be in the slowest few times and you won't make that final 4 and that chance to win the race and the money. Make sure you're watching. Really exciting concept. I hope you agree. Enjoy the broadcast.
Hello and welcome back to the WCS $1,000 knockout from round 2 here at Zandvoort. We've just had race 1 come and go and are now gearing up for the second race. And as we alluded to pre-race 1, there's a strong chance of a weather-affected event. And we're hearing, Tom, from the circuit itself, the real-life Zandvoort, that there is actually thunderstorms in and around the area.
Please happen. That'd be great, especially as obviously I'll let you get into what we were just talking about. But yeah, if it does rain, it'd certainly be another thing for the guys to think about whilst on track.
Indeed, and as we were, as Tom said, we were having a chat while we were off air. What are the permutations if it rains? Because we've seen a lot of the guys who start down towards the rear end take what we've now called the excitable strategy, and just holding back, getting some clear air and then just banging in the lap times. What if they're doing that and then it rains? They're either now like a minute off of the lead. If they fall a lap down, they're eliminated. If they start a lap and on the way down to turn 1 the rain spikes, then they're going to have to drive a full lap at much higher percentage wetness than the drivers up at the front. So being far back might be the safer strategy in a guaranteed dry race to get to the end. But in the wet, it's definitely going to see people moving with more of a sense of urgency, as we have Vladislav Pavlov being the last driver out on track in the warm-up session, and then we go to the race.
Yeah, and it's like you said as well, whilst we were chatting off air, it's like if it happens after lap 2 as well, because obviously if it starts at the start of the race, we can go, right, okay, bang, wet's on, here we go, and they'll know what to do. If it happens after 2 laps, and they're like, oh crap, we can't do anything, we're already 30 seconds down. That's when it gets interesting. It's dry at the moment, from what I can see, but obviously you don't know what's going to happen in the next 90 seconds, even 30 seconds before we start this race.
Indeed, no you don't, and let's try it. 45 seconds for a quick grid rundown. So starting on pole, Eros Masculi ahead of Peo Peeve, who was probably the good surprise of that first race. Dennis Jordan always consistent in third ahead of Alex Siebel. The heartbreak, Luke Maguire crossed the line before he was actually eliminated. And then Vlad Tokarev on row 3. Yuri Kazdorp in 7th, ahead of Germano Zappola. Former championship leader Yoni Simoncic in 9th, with Maciek Mlinek alongside, ahead of Adrian Kott and Chris Shepard. Kirill Birakov and Vladislav Pavlov, 13 and 14, ahead of Kostas Galanamatis, rounding out the point scorers from race 1. Behind him we have Adam Pinches and the very unlucky Mitchie Hoyer. We were reviewing that incident as well, and he did well to keep it going and on the track without a front wing, but no real chance of saving it as the lights are on. 4 lights, 5 lights are on, and away they go, and Masculi outstarts Peeve, and someone at the back is already pulling out off to the side. It looked to be one of the ACR livery cars, so Masculi's going to lead into turn 1. Jordan's going to go around the outside, and someone's hit somebody else as Adam Pinches off in the background, and that's not good. Mitchie Hoyer.
Yeah, it just seemed he just locked his brakes. I don't really know what happened there. Just check.
He was coming down through the hairpin, and you got Birakov getting all sorts of out of shape because people are going slower than he expected in front as Kott and Shepard go side by side up the hill. But that's not the start that you want to see from Adam Pinches. Hopefully his car's all okay and he can get that back going again. Mlinek and Galanamatis just ahead of him, easing off already. So we've got drivers already starting to space out as Masculi leads from Peeve, Jordan in 3rd, and Kazdorp, who's actually starting to push quite hard, it seems, to carve his way up through the grid. He's up to 4th, and he might be someone who thinks, hey, rain's coming, let's get a shift on.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be, yeah, it seems Pinches to just lock his brakes and spun all by himself, no one around him, so very odd. So, yeah, we don't want to see the rain. Luckily, he's kept his front wing, which is good news, but yeah, Dennis in 3rd, he's probably feeling what the hell's going on this high up in the race this early on, so he's probably a bit confused, bless him. But yeah, Kazdorp's done a good start, 4th place, and obviously we're going to start spreading out very soon. Simoncic up to 7th already, so Simoncic obviously got a point to prove after that first race.
Yeah, he's not going to want to be sitting around, and someone who also didn't want to sit around, Chris Shepard, is making places on track. He's up to 8th, passing Tokarev. He passes Zapala into the chicane, and Zapala instantly responds to that by just saying, nope, I do not want any part of this, I'm giving some room, and backed off. So a lot of these guys playing a bit cagey in the early laps. Simoncic now behind Maguire again, Both of them behind Excitable, who I'm not sure if he's backing away from Kazdorp or if Kazdorp's just pushing a lot harder at this point. But Siebel running in 5th on the road for the top 4. It always seems to be groups of 4, doesn't it, Tom, that seem to be pulling away at the beginning?
Yeah, so it's probably top 4. We think, okay, we're in the top 4. We've got a much better chance of getting to the last 4, if you know what I mean. So I wonder if that's maybe part of it, maybe part of the mental game, as it were. But yeah, Kazdorp looks to be pushing quite hard. I think he might have backed off a little bit now, because he was right up into the gearbox of Dennis, but I think he's pulled off a little bit now. Well, actually, I say that, he goes much better on the brakes as Euro. I'm not sure if that's Dennis backing off or what, but looking pretty spicy up there as we've got Maguire, Siebel and Simcic all still quite close together. Shepherd not too far away, just checked Adams on board, and yeah, he had a quad shift, which quite frankly I'm surprised his engine's still going. So unfortunate for him, but luckily, like I said, he's got his front wing, so that's something. But Linek at the back, nice and easy for him so far.
Indeed, someone who's not wanting to take it easy, you know, Kirill Birakov, I don't think he really is playing to get to the end. He's playing for the win, he's playing for keeps, he goes up the inside of Zapala. And Birakov, someone, it looks like he's fully capable of leading from the front, but moving up through the field, you watch him and you just think, oh, you know, that's a bit hairy. So he's someone who I think is using these safe laps they have almost to actually get himself some nice track position in the order, you know, like race position, should I say, rather than track position. Because he's now going to come up behind Vlad Tokarev, who's got a huge gap in front of Chris Shepherd already. But ahead, you know, Kazdorp makes the pass on the road against Dennis Jordan and lights the rears up on the way out of the corner.
They were side by side for the entire of the second sector, pretty much. So fair play to them, no contact at all as well. So fair driving from them, and obviously Dennis is probably thinking long game here, obviously, as he's leading both the championship and the racing overall at the moment. So Dennis probably thinking a bit, yeah, he's looking like he's already backed off. So there we go. I think Simcic is also, yeah, Simcic is starting to back off as well. Still got one more lap until we start to see eliminations. So still a bit of time, but yeah, everyone's trying to find their space. Oh,
Peeve tried it around the outside of Masculi, and actually a little bit of a wheel bang from Peeve to Masculi. I think Peo Peeve he's realised now in his head, it's like, right, I can get to the end. All I need is to get to the end with track position. So now he's going to be hounding Eros Masculi and forcing Masculi to either let him go or to pick his own pace up. So this is going to be an interesting dynamic, as we can see, as they've got the remainder of this lap as safety, and then the slowest driver next time by is eliminated. So
yeah, well,
things are about to come to a head.
I wonder if we'll see Peeve back off in the third sector if he doesn't get far. Yeah, I think he's starting to realise maybe I should back off a little bit. He's definitely a little further back from Masculi than he was. And obviously that's what we think Maguire had an issue with in the first race. Obviously pushed too hard too soon and ended up destroying his tyres with that one lap. Yeah, there we are. Look, Peeve's back right off now. So everyone's got their own little space. There's not really many battles on track. Maguire's quite close to Siebel. He's more closer to comfort than I thought he would be. So Maguire could be in danger here, as is Simcic. He's also right up there. I think Simcic's got time to back up. Oh, yeah, look at that. Dennis Jordan backing right up. I suppose Dennis is backing up. So, oh, yeah, this is a bit tasty.
They're all going to come in. They're all going to hold each other up. One person I would like to keep an eye on is Adam Pinches, just to see if he does actually have any residual damage that's going to be slowing him down. As here we go, crunch time. Masculi, Peeve, Kazdorp, they're already out on their lap. Kazdorp potentially having pushed harder than most to get up into third with that track position. But either way, we'll have to see if that comes back to bite him. As we've got that big group of 4, and who's that? That's Simcic has fallen back from them. Potentially he could already be down on that lap, as they're going to come through the first sector splits when they get to the top of the straight, so Masculi will be there any second. We can start seeing where the lay of the land is. As Tokarev's fallen back a bit, he's down to 12th on the road. And we've still got Mlinek left to even start his lap, so Mlinek really, he's not playing to get the win, he's playing to get to the end again.
Oh, Simcic just had a slow first sector. Oh, as has Shepherd actually, they're both done a 35.4. So both looking in danger of elimination at the moment. Masculi 34.9, but a much better second sector from him. So Simcic and Shepherd not looking good.
35.5 from Zapala though, that's even slower than them. Purple middle for Jordan, as they're all coming through knocking out. And Simcic and Shepherd again, not great middle sectors, so Chris Shepherd could be the man in danger here at this point, unless he picks his pace up. I don't know, maybe he's misunderstood and thinks that this is a safe lap? I don't know. Either way, Chris Shepherd, maybe we've misunderstood for all we know, but we'll see as we go across the line. Masculi 18-2 only, Peeve 17-1, Eros Masculi 18-2? Where's that come from? Okay, Masculi is currently, well, Shepherd's slower,
now,
but
yeah.
Eros Masculi, if this is an elimination, that was really a big blunder from Masculi. As 120 from Zapala, 119.3 from Cott. I'm starting to think we might be wrong on this, Tom, rather than the drivers. But pinches across the line, 16-1, so that seems okay from his car.
Oh, 32 from Tokarev. No, it's definitely lap 5. De Vries definitely confirmed that, race director, on the start of the race. So Tokarev 32-0, unless Malinek decides to go around the final corner backwards, I think we're going to be seeing Tokarev out.
So that was must have been a spin in the middle sector. Sure enough, Malinek 14-3 with the purple last sector, so he started to pick the pace up. So potentially Masculi, Shepherd and Zapala getting away with one there. As indeed we've lost Vlad Tokarev. He's out of the race as the next round of time is coming across. Eros Masculi, hopefully he's picked the pace up. Sure enough, 15-4.
Just a bit.
Peeve on a 14-9. Kazdorp 14-6 right with him. Jordan 14-8. 14-5 from Siebel. 14-8 from Maguire. And now everybody's turned up. 14-7 from Simoncic. So as it stands, Masculi's slowest. As Birakov across the line. 14-2. Masculi's still in danger. Here comes Zapala. 14-3.
He's not just a little bit of danger. He's last of the 4. He's not even first of the 4. He's last
with
of the 4.
a purple lap. So that means that Shepherd's in danger, Masculi's in danger, and so is Peo Peeve.
Dennis Jordan as well. I mean, not looking... Maguire's ahead of Jordan, actually, just about, so...
It's all down to Hoyer and Malinek, and then we're through. Hoyer across the line, 14-6. He's safe. Maciek Malinek coming around the final turn.
I think Jordan's just got away with it.
14-5 from Malinek. So the eliminations, Chris Shepherd, Eros Masculi, Peo Peeve, and who's that? Maguire?
Gallimatis. No, Gallimatis by 1,000th of a second.
Adam Pinches, 1,000th of a second he gets through. That's about as close as you're ever going to get. So that's actually quite unfortunate for Gallimatis as the next time's going by. Kazdorp, the new race leader on the road. 14-4 from Jordan's 14-5. Siebel 14-4. Maguire 14-2. Simoncic 14-2. Birakov next across the line with a 14-0. So Jordan looking in danger. Now it's going to be Zapala 14-4. That's equal time from Zapala and Siebel.
Jordan's going to be out. I think Jordan's out unless if Pavlov does a quicker lap. Yep, he does. I think that's Jordan out.
Well, Pinches has basically given up on this time. Pinches is gone for sure. He's just let Mitchie Hoyer go through. So here comes Hoyer on the track, the next driver through. And he's going to be, when it updates, 14-5. That's Hoyer in trouble. Pinches in trouble. It's going to come down to Malinek. Malinek across the line. 14-7. So that's Pinches gone. That's
Hoyer,
Malinek gone.
And Jordan.
And
Jordan, yep.
Jordan, I think, has survived because of Hoyer. I think. He's 200ths quicker than Mitchie Hoyer. I think
there's 4 eliminations, so I'm pretty sure Jordan's out. Kazdorp! Oh, Kazdorp! How have we missed that? Kazdorp going out.
It's crazy, they're all banging in the time. So your new on-track leader, Dennis Jordan. He's already finished next lap, 14-8. That's not a strong lap. Maguire 14-6. That's not particularly strong either. 14-3s from Simoncic and Birakov. A 2 from Zapala. A 5 from Cott, not looking strong. So it's going to come down to Pavlov 15-0. He's out for sure. And Malinek is going to be the last driver to cross the line, but he's so far behind everybody else because he backed off that we have to wait 30 seconds on. So as it stands, Pavlov is going to be out. Dennis Jordan is going to be out this time by, as is Luke Maguire, I think. And then it's between Adrian Cott and Maciek Malinek, whoever's slower. Malinek across the line, and he goes 14-6, so Malinek out as well. So your final 4 are going to be Simoncic, Birakov, Zapala, and Cott. This is going to get interesting.
So Simoncic has played it perfectly, obviously, in race 2. Race 1, he went out in the 3rd round of eliminations. He's played it absolutely blindingly in this one here. Going to be our on-track leader once Dennis has been disqualified.
He's not just the on-track leader, he's on-track leader by 6 seconds, nearly 7 from Kirill Birakov, and Birakov as well, and Simoncic. Simoncic only behind Dennis Jordan by 1 point after that first round. I think we might have messed up potentially, but Jordan has actually looked like he's got through to the final 4, Tom.
Yeah, I'm sure he was meant to be out. I'll have to double check that, I'm sure.
Well, you go do that, but for the time being, we have to consider Dennis Jordan as the race leader. So from what we thought to be being out to now 4 seconds ahead, and on the final lap, Dennis Jordan could potentially take his first race win of the season, despite the fact he's going to have made it to the final round 5 races in a row. So big consistency from Jordan. Simoncic is going to have made it again. He's really closing the gap to Dennis Jordan, but I don't think he's going to make it in time. Birakov, a solid 3rd, so you've got the 3 kind of biggest heavy hitters making it through to the end again, and Adrian Cott makes it through in 4th, so congratulations to him. But around the final corner is Dennis Jordan going to cross the line to take the win in race 2 at Zandvoort, just ahead of Yoni Simoncic, who closed in nearly 2 full seconds on the final few laps, just showing how much Simoncic had left in the tank. Kirill Birakov crosses the line in 3rd, less than 10 seconds off as well, so good performance from him. The man who pre-qualified fastest and is thus running the number 0 for this championship is Birakov. And Adrian Cott across the line in 4th. Good job getting to the end from Cott. So, there we have it after the second race. Race 3 is coming up shortly with a top 10 grid invert. So it will be the middle of a round of eliminations to get reversed. So I think as it stands, Yuri Kasdorp could be seeing the pole position. But we will be throwing it to another quick commercial break, and we will be back with you guys just for race 3. And we are back again at the WCS League $1,000 knockout from Zandvoort in round 2. Race 2 has just come and gone and has had a bit of a topsy-turvy finish, but as it stands currently, Dennis Jordan took the win there from Yerny Simoncic and from Kirill Birakov. Race 3 is coming to you soon with a top 10 inverted grid, so that's going to mean that the drivers who took the win last time out, they're going to be starting back in the rear end of the top 10. But before we go to that, we have a little bit of WCS news for you fine people. There is a Race Room WTCR series coming very soon on WCS League. There is a sign-ups currently open, as I need to real quick find it again on my own personal thing so I can give out the informations. If you head to wcsleague.co.uk/RR sign up, you can follow all the informations over there for that. Of course, being on Race Room in the touring cars, you're sure to have some fun, close racing with plenty of good drivers racing super close. A little bit of leaning, a little bit of touching, a little bit of nudging. I'm a big touring car racing fan personally, so hey, you never know, you might see me in that league. But back for today, and something that's very much not touring cars, as we currently have Vladislav Pavlov doing some donuts in the pit lane, is the WCS League $1,000 knockout in the warm-up for race 3. That'll be coming to you momentarily as Chris Shepard joins in. Tom, race 2, crazy race. What did you make of that?
Yeah, some surprises, that's for sure. Also, I don't think we were all expecting Dennis to be winning. I think there's still a few teething issues, but obviously that will be sorted. Obviously, we're all still learning how this works. But yeah, Dennis Jordan, obviously the big benefactor. Winning this race, he's still got 1-2, second and first, as it were, actually, in the first 2 races. So he's looking very, very strong for this event win today, obviously, with Simoncic. Looking strong in that second race, but obviously the first race was a bit of a boo-boo on his side. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Obviously, these people who are starting at dropping back are actually getting quite a bit of an advantage, aren't they? Really taking it easy and seeing how it goes and getting through. So we'll have to see if people are starting to catch on to that and see if they can finally start doing it themselves, because someone like Siebel, for example, has been making very good use of it, and Linek last race out made very good use of it. So we'll have to see if anyone keeps that trend up.
Yeah, I mean, you saw off the grid, and Linek, I believe it was, pulling actually over in towards the pit lane entry just to say, okay, on you go, guys, then you go through the first sector, you go do you, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to do me at the back. And as you saw, there was even, Adam Pinches had his what we expect was an equipment malfunction for a quad downshift, but there was also a little bit of nudging, a little bit of touching through that hairpin, which, that could pick someone up some suspension damage. And with how close these guys are going, I mean, what was it, 1,000th of a second Adam Pinches made it into the third round over Kostas Galanamatis. I mean, 1,000th of a second. Some light suspension damage would make easily more than that, and if it's coming down to that fine margins, then realistically you want to be running around either in clear air or with slipstream to benefit you. But you never know, it's working out that the guys who are staying all the way back are making it quite far almost every time. But we'll have to see how race 3 plans out. One notably absent thing, Tom, from race 2. No rain. It's not started falling yet, and with a minute to go till race 3, will we have a wet race?
Well, that definitely spice it up, wouldn't it? Definitely see who's made of what in the thing, but it doesn't look like it's raining just yet either in the warm-up session. So, I'm not sure if we're going this time by, if we still need to sort the grid out. But yes, it's oh, come on, rain. We've had everything else. We just want a bit of rain. Come on, it's raining. It's a thunderstorm, for goodness sake, in Zandvoort. Come on.
I'll say Tom's clearly rooting for the rain. It'll make things more interesting, but we've not had rain this far. I'd say if we can have a fully dry event, that will really show where the lay of the land is in terms of strategy and all that. So we've got currently our championship standings haven't been updated after race 2 yet, but going into race 2, Dennis Jordan was 1 point ahead of Jurnej Simoncic in the championship, and obviously with the race win, that's going to be extended now to 3 points to Simoncic. And Birakov, I believe, is going. Yeah, he's going to be still third because he was third going into it, finished third. So we've seemed to have our three, how would you say, championship protagonists emerging. We have the man who won the pre-qualifying, Kirill Birakov. We have the guy who just seems to, be so cool and collected and always just banging in the lap times, Dennis Jordan. And we have just the pure speed of Simoncic. So this is going to be interesting to observe as the season goes along, as we have the grid been set and are moving to the grid. And this is an interesting front row, Tom. Yuri Kasdorp and Alex Siebel. So a guy who likes to fight for the track position and go for the win versus the purveyor of the Siebel strategy all the way at the front of the grid. Do a quick grid rundown in the 40 seconds we have. So it's going to be Kasdorp from Siebel, Maciek Mlinek in third ahead of Luke Maguire, Germano Zappala, who might feel a bit hard done by after that previous race, and then Vladislav Pavlov in sixth ahead of Adrian Kott, Kirill Birakov, Jurnej Simoncic, Dennis Jordan, Mitchy Hoyer in 11th ahead of Adam Pinches, and by 1,000th ahead of Kostas Galanamatis. Peo Pive has struggled in that race, going from second all the way down to 14th, but still in the points from Peo. Chris Shepard having a whale of a time down in 15th, ahead of Eros Masculi, and Vlad Tokarev is going to be rounding out this grid for race 3 of the WCS League $1,000 knockout. Of course, $100 going to the man who scores the most points this event, currently looking to go to Alex Stiebel, but the lights are on, and away they go, and a good start from Kasdorp, good start from Siebel. I think actually Pavlov is the guy holding back, but everybody else kind of going into turn 1. Almost looks like full guns are blazing, as there's Mitchy Hoyer pulling out to the side. Birakov looking for some track position. Shepard's up in there as well, and Maguire ahead of Mlinek into third.
Yeah, so we've got Tokarev, Pavlov, Galanamatis, and Hoyer, the back four. Seem to have just held up a little bit of time, but nice and clean for the first sector so far. That's good, but stay like that. So good stuff this time from everyone on the first lap. Oh,
we've got our three, as I mentioned, championship protagonists: Simoncic, Jordan, and Birakov all together, and Birakov and Jordan just banged wheels going up over the hill. And this is a track where you really, really don't want to be banging wheels, especially going into Schlevak. That's a one-way trip to the barrier if I've ever seen one before, but they're all on top of each other. Cott's in there as well, so is Shepard. Pinches looks like he's fixed his equipment. He's up in 11th, no quad downshifts on the way into turn 1, thankfully, but these drivers are definitely now seeing, okay, we've got to go for it. We can't just sit back. We've got to jostle for some track position if we want to win this race. And it seems like a lot of people are going for it. It's a good, I think maybe Hoyer, Galanamatis, Pavlov, and Tokarev are the only guys holding back right now. Everybody else is looking to try and find some space, as Kasdorp and Siebel start to open up a little bit of a gap from Maguire, but then in behind, Simoncic already on the back of Zappala, but ahead of Zappala is Mlinek, and no teams in this, but they're running the same team ACR livery. Will Simoncic and Mlinek potentially work together?
there's definitely potential. We've seen it. We did see it last time, didn't we? I think it's between Siebel and Jordan. So we'll see if that happens. But Dennis has lost a couple of places. I think he's starting to take it a little bit easier. Shepard is definitely one who's not taking it easy. He's been overtaking cars left, right and centre. He did a cracking overtake actually on Dennis into the chicane last time round, so good stuff for him. But looks like Dennis, obviously one of our championship protagonists and obviously round protagonists, looking very good after a first and second. Just trying to take it, a bit slidey. I'd say he's taking it easy. He's actually gone straight up to the inside of the car there. So good to see from Mr. Jordan. But obviously someone who is going to be looking to try and get a good into at least his second to last round of eliminations to try and guarantee a round victory today.
And then, because we have this slightly unusual extra couple of safety laps, just the championships have been updated, and currently, as far as the round goes, Dennis Jordan sitting on 36 points. So long as he can get into the final round of eliminations, he is mathematically certain to win the round. So that'll be $100 going his way if he can just make it to that final four. But behind him, Simoncic. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. Alex Siebel has been scoring big, so that means Jordan has to finish. Oh no, sorry, he has to finish still in the top 5. My mistake. But Alex Siebel out of nowhere is scoring big as well, which is good to see. Same goes for Peo Peeve and Adrian Cott. They've scored relatively big as well. Same with Luke McGuire and Yurny Simoncic, Kirill Birakov. Lots of drivers scoring 20 plus points in this round so far.
It's good to see. Lots of I see it's a bit of a challenge and not just one person running away with it, which is good. Alex Siebel doing the typical Alex Siebel of starting slow and then getting quick at the end. I know he does that in another league. He does that quite well. So nice to see Alex up there. We know how quick he is, so it's nice to see him finally realising that true potential. But Kasdorp out front, definitely taking the fight with this one. Hopefully he's not pushing his tyres too hard. So Alex and Guri, nice gap out behind them. 2-second gap behind Siebel so far. So these top two looks like they've got a statement of intent for this race.
I definitely think so. Like, Siebel usually is kind of towards the back end. I think now he's realised he started at the front. He's like, okay, this is mine to win. He's got himself a bit of a gap to Yuri Kasdorp, so if Kasdorp makes a mistake, it's not going to cost Siebel. And that could be smart, as in fact Kasdorp runs wide there and loses a lot of time. But Siebel, I don't think is out to overtake Kasdorp. I think he's just out to outlast Kasdorp and then, if necessary at the end, pull a move. But McGuire is going with them. So we're going to have the first elimination on the next flying lap. The guys like Masculi, who are still taking it easy, same with Hoyer, Galanamatis, they're going to be safe this next time by as well. So Kasdorp is starting to come around to crunch time. Siebel still going with him, McGuire, and then Mlynek and Shepard are nose to tail. Zapala's in there as well. That could compromise those guys, or it could help them, depending on what goes on. There's a group of 4 running on the road again. But we do still have our 3 breakaways, Kasdorp, Siebel, and McGuire. It always happens. There's always 3 or 4 that just check out, and then there's the midfield, and then the guys who hang back, in this case Masculi.
Oh, Mlynek. Oh, Mlynek, sorry. Mlynek had a bit of a wiggle. I don't know how he saved it. Shepard's managed to avoid him, but yes, Chris is looking very racy today, but it looks like he's now giving him a bit of space so that he can try and go for an attack. But who's that in 6 and 7? Zappala and Simoncic.
I don't like that.
On the road. Yes, I don't like that at all.
This is the first round of elimination, and already Germano Zappala has been overtaken on this lap, so this isn't boding well for him. I think he needs to potentially rely on someone else to make a mistake, because Simoncic now is ahead of Zappala. Zappala is his buffer, because obviously Zappala crossed the line ahead of him, so no matter what happens, if they finish like this, Simoncic is quicker than Zappala. So will Simoncic potentially back off now? It looks like he is a little bit to get some gap to Shepard, and that's really going to screw Germano Zappala.
Tell you what, Tokarev is not far from being lapped here. He's only about, it's about 15 seconds up the road, but it's going to be another, going to have to be waiting in a minute and a bit just to see what's going on with the time. So it's going to be a long lap for everyone else who's doing, but obviously Kasdorp looking good. Obviously they're all going to start pushing now, so you're doing 121 to the last lap, they'll all be into the 115s now. So time to see what's going to go on as we got into the final section for Kasdorp.
I'd say Adrian Cott and Adam Pinches both. I think they're out there taking it easy still. I'm not sure if they know that this is the first round of elimination. But I know we thought this last time out, but I think this time, hopefully the drivers are realizing this. But Pinches certainly, and Cott, very slow. We've had the first few times being put in 14 4s, 14s for everybody. Shepard 15.4, Simoncic 19.7, 20.4 for Zappala, 20.2 for Cott. So Zappala currently in the drop zone, 19.7 for Pinches. Birakov's going to come across the line next. He's not going slowly, so potentially Germano Zappala could fall at the first hurdle here.
Yeah, as like I said, it being overtaken by Simoncic may have done it for him. It was his final sector, very slow actually, 24.1, so a very slow final sector. That's a Denver actually, but he's a bit quicker in the first two. So Zappala could have made a mistake here, but Peeve 20.0, yet still 4 cents faster.
Hoyer safe, Galanamatis safe, Pavlov saves. It all comes down to Tokarev. Tokarev across the line, he's set purple sector, so I think that is our first elimination is going to be Germano Zappala, the man who was, oh no, Peo Peeve. Peo Peeve is out. Okay. That seems a bit weird, but anyway, on week the show must go on. Kasdorp leading from Siebel and McGuire. Then Mlynek on the road, and now we get proper crunch time. Slowest 4 out for the next couple of laps. 14.1 from Kasdorp, 14.0 from Siebel, 14.0 from McGuire. The fastest lap tracker can't keep up as they're still showing Kasdorp purple when McGuire and Siebel go faster. Mlynek 14-5, 14-8 from Shepard, 15-0 from Jurne Simoncic. That's dangerous. 14-8 from Zapala, 14-8 from Jordan, 14-3 from Cotton, pinches as well. So 14-8 looks to be the drop zone right now. Birakov going to climb across the line next. He's going to be a...
Oh, that's not good.
14-9. So Simoncic and Birakov both in the drop zone. Masculi across the line. 14 flat. He's safe. Hoyer across the line. 14-1. He's safe. Galanamatis across the line. 14-7. He's safe. Pavlov. 14-2. Easily safe. Here comes Tokarev, the last driver across the line. 14-4.
Simoncic out.
Simoncic is out. And not only is he out, he's out in the 0-point place.
So that's Simoncic, Zapala,
Birakov.
And a Shepard by my count. So Jordan gets through by less than half a tenth.
And less than just nearly 300ths. Dennis Jordan makes it through. That's the skin of his teeth, as Chris Shepard is going to be the last driver to fall in this round, unfortunately, I believe. Adam pinches. That's a big mistake. He's sliding off and wide. That's almost certainly him going to be out this next time by. But we already have some times coming in. 14-0, Kasdorp. 14-1, 14 for Siebel. 14-4 for Maguire. That's not so great. Jordan, 14-9. That's in danger. Cop, 14-5. Pinches, 15-7. He's almost certainly going to be gone. Masculi is going to be the next driver to cross the line, but he's not going to be there for a couple of seconds still. So as it stands, Pinches is the only driver slower than Jordan, so Dennis Jordan could be in trouble again. Masculi across the line, 14-4. That is safe currently. Michi Hoyer across the line. That's going to be a 14-3. He's safe. Galanamatis, 14-7. He's gone. And Pavlov's going to cross the line next.
14-4.
And 14-4 from Tokarev. So that's Pinches out. Jordan out. That's big. Galanamatis out, I believe. And who's the next slowest? Could be... Pinch, no, not Pinches. Pinches, Galanamatis, Jordan, and I'm not sure who else. But anyway, we've got the next group. Who was Adrian Cott is the next one. So the next lap already starting to come through again. It's fast paced now. It's the ante really being upped.
Linek 15-7. No, that's a slow one from Linek.
And Siebel 14-6. That's only half of these guys get through. Maguire 24-2.
He's spun in the final. He must have spun in the
Luke
final
Maguire. That's him going to be gone in 8th place for sure. Matchek Linek also looking like he's going to be gone. But Masculi and Hoyer are coming around to finish their lap time now. So Kasdorp safe.
Siebel has got to hope to hell that Masculi and Hoyer are slower, because he's currently in.
Masculi isn't. Yeah. Masculi's safe. Michi Hoyer across the line. Can Michi make it to the final 4? He currently is 3rd, I think.
Yep, he's
Pavlov
ahead.
across the line. Pavlov behind Michi, but ahead of Siebel. And it's now Tokarev. Tokarev across the line, 14-5.
Siebel out.
Maguire gone. Mlinek gone. Siebel gone and Tokarev gone. So our final 4 this time is going to be Yuri Kasdorp, Eros Masculi, Michi Hoyer, and Vladislav Pavlov. So that's Michi Hoyer's first trip to the final 4. And Alex Siebel is going to be being dropped soon, as that's going to leave Yuri Kasdorp with a 15-second lead. Oh, Hoyer's been dropped. Okay, never mind then. Yuri Kasdorp with a 2-second advantage on Alex Siebel as the top 2, so that could get very close. Maguire's made it through 15 seconds back, and Eros Masculi is almost certainly going to be 4th across the line. So, now we have another sprint finish. Can Alex Siebel start to close into Yuri Kasdorp? These two have led on track since the beginning, and it's paid off for both of them. There's a round down towards turn 8, round Masters, round box 9, and then box 10. Kasdorp leads from Alex Siebel, so the Dutchman leading in Holland. I think all the F1 fans would be delighted if that were to happen next year. Kasdorp down the hill towards the chicane, and he goes, hold it tight, and out of the chicane and down towards Kumo. The WCS League McGann Series winner, carrying the number 1, Yuri Kasdorp, is going to lead out of Kumo and around the final corner to take victory in race 3 of round 2 of the WCS $1,000 knockout. And I believe with second place, Alex Siebel takes the round win. So that'll be $100 to you, Sir Alex Siebel. He won't be too disappointed to finish in second. Across the line in third, Luke Maguire makes it to the final 4. Well done, Luke, in third, big points. And then we're going to have to wait a little bit as Eros Masculi is going to come around, playing the Siebel strategy to perfection, getting it to the end. Going to round out our finishers in 4th place. A couple of people might feel a bit hard done by after this one, but you know, it's the way things go sometimes, the way the cookie crumbles. Masculi across the line to finish. And there we have it. The results from race 3 are in. Yuri Kazdorp's going to win from Alex Siebel, Luke Maguire, and Eros Masculi are your final 4 in that order. Tom, that was a bit crazy towards the end.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that you can't rest on your laurels because, I mean, Dennis, he's mega in the first 2 races, wasn't he? And in that final one, he's out in the second round of elimination. So, obviously, it's going to be closest to who's actually won this. I don't know if Alex may have snuck it at the end. But yeah, a fun evening and still a couple of teething issues, but I'm sure next time out we will be sure of what's going on and there'll be a couple, maybe potentially, I know there's rumours of a couple of rule changes as well. So yeah, fun stuff, and hopefully we'll have more of the same next time round.
Indeed, we hope so. And the next time round will be in 1 week from today, as the first half of the season is going to be rounded out in Malaysia. So that'll be another interesting test for the drivers, and yet another country where inclement weather is fairly common. So who knows, there's going to be the threat of rain there as well. After that, we then go into a break week, and then the second half of the season is going to be consisting of Palm Beach, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and the season is going to be coming to a close at NOLA, and those 3 all week after week. But in other WCS League news, the Race Room WTCR Championship signups are open. Head over to the Discord and the website to check out the regulations and things like that and get yourself signed up. Touring car racing is always fun, as the final few drivers just heading back to the pits now in this race. So, for Tom Parker, thank you for joining us. Alex Skinner behind the cameras is always doing a wonderful job. I've been Mike Bell, and we will see you next time.
I'm James Kirk,
I'm Michi Hoyer.
and you're watching simnews.tv.